So let's run through our pools again. We'll just run through where we've got everyone. Then we'll go into the quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, run through those games. So in my pool A, I have New Zealand, Italy, France, Uruguay, Namibia. Pool B, I have Ireland, Scotland, South Africa, Tonga, Romania. Pool C, I have Fiji, Australia, Georgia, Wales, Portugal. And Pool D, Argentina, Samoa, England, Japan, Chile.
Look, some bold predictions in there for sure. For all of South Africa, France, and England not to make it, I think is pretty bold. I have Pool A, New Zealand first, France second, then Italy, Uruguay, Namibia. Pool B, Ireland first, South Africa second, Scotland third, although all of them go 4-1 in the pool stage, then Tonga and Romania. Group C, Australia undefeated, Fiji, Wales, Georgia, Portugal. Group D, Argentina undefeated, England, Samoa, Chile, and Japan.
Alrighty, quarterfinals time.
Yep.
Hughesy, let's run us through your quarterfinals.
Okay, so my quarterfinal matchups are Australia versus England, Ireland versus France, Argentina versus Fiji, and New Zealand versus South Africa. First match of the quarterfinals would be Australia versus England. Australia takes it. Eddie Jones's revenge tour is complete. He Master versus Apprentice, Jones versus Borthwick takes care of business. England not to make it to another World Cup final. Ireland versus France. In an upset, France take it. France take it because they're playing in France. They get up for the home crowd.
The quarterfinal curse continues for Ireland, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Argentina versus Fiji. Really great game. Cracker game. But I think Argentina takes this one. And then New Zealand versus Africa. New Zealand doesn't lose to teams twice in a row. They don't lose to teams twice in a row. They beat South Africa. Especially after the biggest loss in All Blacks history. You're going to tell me no one could convince me that the All Blacks won't be so fired up for this game, even more so than they usually are when they play the Box. They will win this one. And Ian Foster, his legacy will continue to grow as the most underappreciated coach in All Blacks history.
Yeah, I love those quarterfinal matchups, mate. I must say, your matchups look a little bit more enticing. Mine look a little bit more like I should be in a mental institute. So match 41, quarterfinal 1, Fiji versus Samoa. I then have Ireland versus Italy. I have Argentina versus Australia and New Zealand versus Scotland as my 4 quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Winner of Fiji versus Samoa and making their first ever semi-final in the Rugby World Cup, Fiji. I think they're too powerful for their Samoan brethren. Match 42 is Ireland versus Italy. Ireland too strong for the Italian flair. Argentina versus Australia. Australia still feel that loss that hit them in Parramatta Stadium.
The loss that shouldn't have been a loss.
And they do the Uno reverse and they get the win in a quarter-final. New Zealand beats Scotland in the other quarter-final. What more do I have to say? It's a Rugby World Cup. Here come the All Blacks onto the semi-finals, my friends. So my semi-finals look like Fiji versus Ireland and the Wallabies versus the old foes, the All Blacks. Game 1, Ireland end the fairy tale that is the Fijians and make a final, break the hoodoo of the quarterfinal and go all the way through to the final. The Wallabies versus the All Blacks, it's already done, bud. There's no chance you're touching us. The All Blacks are through to a Rugby World Cup final in 2023. Come on!
Who could have seen that coming? All right, my semi-finals are Australia versus France and Argentina versus New Zealand. Right, I think Australia will breathe a sigh of relief. That France beat Ireland in that quarterfinal match, because I think, as you said last week, they feel like they probably match up better against France when they're at full strength. I think Australia takes this one against France in a narrow victory. Then we have Argentina versus New Zealand. Look, it's going to be a close game, but I have New Zealand by 3 points or less against Argentina in this semi-final.
So and then we get All Blacks making the final.
Well, yeah, we have a final of, what better final could you ask for than Australia versus New Zealand?
Yeah, I couldn't argue that point. Do you want to take us through how your final is going to look then, my friend? We know it's Aussie against New Zealand. Give us the 80-minute rundown in 2 minutes.
Okay. Eddie Jones pulls off one of the all-time World Cup heists. Nobody's looking at Australia as any kind of threat here. You said it before yourself when you had this semi-final match. Oh, it's already done. That's New Zealand's attitude here. It's already done. It's Australia. We always beat Australia. Not so in the final, my friend. Australia, they're on 2 World Cup victories. That's not enough for them. New Zealand's lording over the Bledisloe. Them and South Africa with their 3 World Cup wins. Well, you know what? Australia joins the party here. Max Jorgensen coming in for an injured Andrew Kellaway, who gets injured in the semi-final. His second ever World Cup match. He plays 1 game in the pool stages, but his second ever World Cup game leads Australia to victory over New Zealand in the grand final. That's all there is to it. That's all I need to say.
And I thought I had to go to a mental health institute, but maybe it is you, my friend, after what I've just heard. Look, dreams are free, and that's lucky for you. So let's run you through what's actually going to happen in the final. We've got Ireland against the All Blacks. The Irish come out, they know what they did to the All Blacks on All Blacks turf not many moons ago. And the All Blacks come up and they go, this is our time. The Irish think it's their time. They got Farrell as their coach. Sexton's last game probably in the green jersey. It's their time. They start off strong. 20 minutes, the Irish are over the New Zealanders. They're holding on, the All Blacks, they're holding on. It's a close game. Ireland have kicked 2 penalties. It's 6-0. And then the All Blacks break free through Will Jordan, who sets up Rieko Ioane to score to make it 7-6 in the 26 minutes. We go into the sheds. It is 9-7 to the Irish. It's a close game. It's defensive. It's tactical. Ian Foster goes in at halftime and gives one of the greatest halftime speeches and All Blacks coaches ever given. He goes, you know what? Fuck Steve Hansen. Fuck the Wallabies. Fuck the Irish. And we go out there and rort them in the second half, and we bring the trophy home 29-9. The All Blacks win the Rugby World Cup. It's coming home, baby. The Rugby World Cup. Put it on a plane now. Send it back to New Zealand. I'm ready for
it. Right, okay. God, boring. Okay.
There it is. Our predictions. As crazy as they may seem, I have the All Blacks winning. Hughesy has the Wallabies winning. Were we ever surprised at the start of this that was going to be the result?
I don't think so. Absolutely not. If we had predicted anything differently, I would have been so disappointed.
Yeah, imagine if I had chucked a change of script in there and said the Irish were going to be the All Blacks. How disgusting that would be.
But I would have admired you. I would have admired you for doing that.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a man, unfortunately. I'm not going to lie. You got to know what you are, and I'm an All Black supporter, and I'm one of the ones you think of when you go, those fucking All Black supporters. Yeah, that's me. That is who I am. But we have made some big calls. Obviously, I think your probably biggest call is Japan finishing last in the pool, with Fiji making it into the quarterfinals, at least, knocking out Wales and Georgia. I've gone with France, South Africa, England all being knocked out, and Fiji to top their pool. But it's been one hell of a past 6 months leading up to this World Cup. It's probably the most excited I've been for a World Cup. And it's weird. It's weird to say, because normally I'm excited for World Cups because I'm pretty confident New Zealand are going to win. As confident as I am New Zealand are going to win, there's about 8 teams, I think, that could theoretically sit there and point out their journey to a trophy. And if we're looking at someone like a Wales, who both of us have said are not making it out of the pool, say they do make it out of the pool and say they do upset someone in the quarters, and all of a sudden they do it in the semis as well, you know, it's one of those tournaments there. I think we'll look back and just see the upsets. We'll see the game winners. I just think as much as we've predicted the tournament here, I don't think you can predict this tournament and what's going to happen. So, saying all of that, make sure you stay tuned with us. Subscribe to us on our YouTube and on Spotify and wherever you listen to these podcasts / watch them. Make sure you're up to date with us on our Instagram and staying tuned as we bring you all the action from the Rugby World Cup. Any final words from my friend Hughesy?
Go the Wallabies.
You're hoping that you come out of that dark room as blind, stabbing the sword, and that everyone else has just killed themselves, and that you are the last one that remains?
Scars are stronger than raw flesh, my friend. We'll come out of the group scarred, but better for it.
There you go. There he is. The ever so hopeful Wallabies fan and the ever so arrogant All Blacks fan combining to make one hell of a podcast. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll see you again next week. For now, goodbye. Thank you for joining us.
Peace.